right, another episode of the Nerdy Virgin Podcast. My name is Joshua Snyder. It's Sunday, February 1st. I probably should be dropping this. I try to drop it on Mondays, but I might just push it out Sunday. Would that upset the algorithm? Let's see. How we doing? How am I doing? So there's JT Parr and Chad Kroger. Chad and JD go deep. Amazing comedy duo. They are doing this YouTube series that's making over a bunch of sad guys. And I was one of the sad guys that they made over. And that episode dropped today, February 1st. And I watched it. And you should watch it. Just follow them on YouTube. And the whole full episode is there on YouTube. And there was a moment where we do a striptease. And I'm looking at myself wearing a Speedo, and not flattering. Not flattering. I always, I always suspected it was not flattering, but here's the thing. I've never been, super confident in my physical appearance. But I must confess to you that 20s and 30s, I would get out of the shower, look in the mirror, and go, not bad. Not bad. This could be a lot worse. Well, part of it, I'm 44. Part of it could have been the lighting. It's gotten worse. It's gotten a lot worse. It was not... there was not a specimen that I was particularly proud of looking at myself. Just no tan whatsoever, no tan. And I know why am I acting surprised? Again, I'm never saying I looked great, but when I think to my body back in my 20s, all right. It just it was. It could just skate by. That's how it felt. Not so much anymore. Now, I look at that. That is the body of that is middle age right there. That is a body that's like if I was a male lion. This is the point. Assuming I made it to where I was the head of a pride. This is the point where all the other male lions are like, okay, now's our time. Yeah, he's done. Reign over. That is what that feels like there. So good to know that that's online, seen by potentially hundreds of thousands, millions of people. Good to know that that's there. But you should take a look. It's a good episode. Fun. A lot of fun happening on that episode. I want to pivot, if I may. I want to pivot. You know what? I don't think I'm done pivoting. I think we need to keep talking about this because body issue thing, I need to, the whole thing where I'm supposed to accept my body for what it is. Listen, I don't blame anybody else. I don't exercise. I don't do what I need to do to have a body that I feel good about. So this is not me blaming anyone but myself. That said, I'll tell you, if you're someone who's like, man, I really have been meaning to go to the gym or I've been meaning to exercise and I just can't bring myself to do it, watch this episode of Chad and JT Go Deep where you see me do a striptease. That'll get you out. That'll get you to the gym. That'll get you to buy a membership. I'm telling you, it'll work. All right, now we can pivot. I'm noticing that there seems to be some divisive reactions to Starfleet Academy. And we're about to hit episode 5 this Thursday, which I've read, is a Valentine to Deep Space Nine. Very excited. But a lot of divisive reaction to the show in general, and I like the show. I think it's a good show. I think it's well written. I think the acting's good. I think even, the college students, everyone's afraid that it's going to be, 90210 in space. Let me assure you something, okay? This is not 90210 in space. You know how I know this? Because if you watch this show and then you go and you talk about it around people who are not Trekkies, you'll still feel awkward. You will still feel awkward. I promise you. I promise you. It's still sufficiently nerdy. Don't worry. Stop stressing. It's going to be okay. I was going to say something else. Something occurred to me as I was saying that, and I need to hold on to what that something is that occurred to me. A show comes out, a Star Trek show comes out, it's going to do one of two things, okay? With maybe one or two exceptions. A Star Trek show comes out, either it's going to be a hit, or it's going to be a flop, and then 20 years later, this is amazing! Well, I discovered it in syndication, and it was fantastic. Why did they cancel it? It's going to be one of those two things. Same thing, I mean, they already renewed Starfleet Academy for 2 seasons, so we know there's 2 seasons of that. And that's what this is going to be. People are either going to not like it now and 20 years ago go, oh, this was fantastic. I really did. Oh, it's too bad I didn't catch this. Or it's going to really blow up. One of the two. One of the two, all right? One of the two. Starfleet Academy. Oh, yeah, that was what I wanted to talk about. So we find out in the last episode that the ship can separate the saucer section, and the saucer section has a warp drive. But correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't, in the first episode, the back part of the ship was what was, the bad guy ship attached itself to the back part of the ship, and they couldn't escape? Couldn't they have just separated the saucer and warped away? And I know there was programmable matter on the saucer that was affecting its systems, but there was a point where they were able to release the programmable matter. They got past it, and then they could have, the saucer section could have warped away, right? Am I right? They could have separated that saucer section a lot. You got kids, you got college students on the saucer section. You're holding back on the separation. I want a pro saucer separation captain next time. I think that, especially if this is going to be a training ship, for goodness sake. I'm sure there's already 15 Reddits on that. Did I cover everything? I think I covered everything. The only thing that wasn't covered was my body in this episode of Chad and JD Goes Deep. And watch it. Avert your eyes for that, but watch the rest of it. And this is enough. Transition. So how are you liking it here on the Enterprise? Here's my question. Why does everybody have multiple information computer pads? Can't you put all the information on one pad? Nobody likes to scroll. I think there's a lot of pad hoarding going on, frankly. Some of the other crew, people on some of the other ships have been talking about it. You might have a point. I see people, they're walking with 15 pads in their hands. They trip, the pads fall over the plate. You can put all of the information on one pad. They know that, right? They like it makes them feel busier, more important, I think. Well, I'm only carrying one pad. Counselor Troy will question it. Let her question it. Transition. The Imperial Walker cannot run. Can it at least jog? It is an Imperial Walker. What about, power walking? They are working on experimental models that could achieve a power walk, but we do not have that currently. I mean, it's taken a long time to get to where we're going. Well, then next time, ask for the Imperial Impatient Scurrier. I didn't even know that was an option. Most people don't take it. It doesn't look very flattering when it scurries. Transition. The Klingons are not happy with their new ship. You mean the Giraffe of Prey? Yeah, I really don't know where in the pipeline of designing, planning, and building this ship things went awry. Sounds like the moment they landed on Giraffe of Prey. I think that's when it went bad. Oh, that's the least of the problems. Is it shaped like a giraffe? It is shaped like a giraffe. I didn't even know Klingons had giraffes on the Klingon homeworld. Yeah, with the same bony ridges, and it's a lot harder for them to hold up their heads. They're actually almost extinct. Who would give the green light to something like this? Heads will roll. I mean, literally. Transition. Something's happened to the Klingons. What do you mean? They've switched from aggression to passive aggression. Did somebody mention us Klingons? No, we were just talking. But you're gonna do the dishes later, right? Sure. He's not actually gonna do them. Transition. I'm here to do maintenance in the heart of Cloud City. 2 guys are fighting with lightsabers right now. Lightsabers on the central core? No, hey, stop that. Stop, you're gonna, that's... That, really ripping up those rails, aren't they? Those are fiber optic lines. That's just now it's a 10-hour job. This was supposed to be a 2-hour job, now it's a 10-hour job. What's he saying? Oh, I guess the guy's his father? Well, that explains the rage. Transition. Darth Maul must be eliminated. With respect, Emperor, he did survive getting cut in half, and he seems to be doing a lot better than anyone you've trained. Darth Vader is far superior. They're still good in him. Yes, I know they're still good in him. We should ask Darth Maul back. No, we can't do that. We'll look like idiots. We'll just hire him in a different position. What positions are open? The Death Star needs a good admin. How's his typing? For someone who was chopped in half, amazing. Transition. Counselor, yes, come in. How can I help you today, Captain? Well, look, it's the 32nd century. We've all kind of talked about it, and we're gonna take the counselor's chair off the bridge now. I don't understand. The ship's counselor should always sit right next to the captain on the bridge. It's the 32nd century. We got it. We're good. Are you saying you figured out how to not need counseling? Yeah, you figure by the time you make it to captain, if you need a counselor, probably shouldn't be a captain, right? That is not at all the way to look at it. I'm very concerned about this. If it's any consolation, the commander just kind of has to stand in the back now. Well, who am I supposed to flirt with? Transition. You've got to stop the Joker, Batman. I'll look into it. Oh, hey, are you guys here to put the Christmas lights on the roof, too? We're having a clandestine meeting about crime in Gotham City. But you can still help me put the Christmas decorations up on the roof, right? We're kind of having a private conversation here. You have private conversations in rooms. The roof is kind of public. No, it's possible to have a private conversation in a public area. Yeah, this is an A-B conversation, so why don't you see your way out of it? Okay, well, if no one helps me with the Christmas decorations, I guess they're just not getting up. Oh, I'm gonna get such grief from everybody if we don't get the Santa up. Don't ask me to use the Batwing. I'm gonna ask if we can use the Batwing to help with the Santa.
I don't know about you, but I couldn't help but notice that when they released Star Trek First Contact back in 1996 and they had the Sovereign-class Starship Enterprise designed to fight the Borg no neck, the toy did not look exactly like the ship in the movie.
How dare.
Specifically, the Bizarre collectors in the movie, which were bifurcated, were not bifurcated on the toy. I'm not finished! The movie had 2 impulse engines, the toy only had 1. Who leaves space dock with 1 impulse engine? And most egregiously, the deflector dish in the movie had what I would only describe as a trench running from the dish to the torpedo launcher. But on the toy, it was not a trench, it was but a divot. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with Starship design, I would tell you with absolute confidence that I believe the deflector dish is the defining part of the ship. It's the face of the ship. It is the central design element. You cannot mess up the dish. If Mona Lisa's going like this, it is no longer the Mona Lisa. Now, it turns out that the reason why the ship didn't look exactly like the ship in the movie is because they had preliminary art designs and they were rushing to get it out so that it would coincide with the movie. Fair, fine, I'll give it to you. 2 years later, they come out with Star Trek Insurrection. It's the same ship. They release an updated version of the toy. It had the correct Bizarre collectors. It had both impulse engines, but they didn't fix the dish. They knew about it. If they fixed the other 2 things, they knew about the dish. Don't tell me they didn't know about it. I hope one day I'm going to talk about this, and I hope one day somebody comes up to me afterwards and they're like, "Hey, I was at the toy company. Thank you for telling my story."
Nerdyvirgin.com